XRP as the world reserve currency, a scenario where XRP holders could become liquidity providers for Tier 1 financial institutions and central banks. Let's see what the CEO has to say about this.
Issued 100 billion XRPs will be enough to cover once the X Rapid service scales to a global full scale, or would there be a shortage?
Well, so when XRP was created, this actually was created before Ripple existed. The creators of XRP decided there'd be 100 billion units because they saw it as rather than having a smaller number with a very high price, they saw it as something they wanted to be effectively a global reserve currency.
Well, we just heard from the CEO himself, but what that really means for XRP holders and how we can benefit from that scenario. I'll stick to the end of this video because we are not just buying XRP for profits, for dollars, for selling. There is something, there is an underlying agenda that's going to revolutionize the financial system. If you are buying XRP, I truly believe you are positioning yourself to become a lender to the entire financial system. A reserve currency implies an asset that's held in significant sums by central banks and financial institutions. They hold and use to settle global trade and payments. Historically, it was gold and then it evolved to the US dollar. What if the next reserve asset is not a country's currency? There is a high demand for a neutral bridge currency that settles value instantly. Well, that reads just like the XRP ledger and the neutral bridge asset XRP with low transaction fees. Ripple is building the rails for the new financial system right now. The infrastructure to make XRP the backbone of global finance is being built in real time. March 2025, the International Monetary Fund published a paper titled Trust, Bridges and Money Flows. On page 23, the IMF openly mentions XRP and XLM as key assets in their vision for improving cross-border payments. And I quote them, "Three models arise: a private settlement asset like Ripple's XRP, an open search marketplace like Stellar's XLM, and a model using the Lightning Network and Bitcoin." Notices the emphasis of XRP and XLM as their preferred choices. The IMF praises XRP and XLM over Bitcoin because of their public solutions run by regulated private entities. These solutions offer clear advantages in terms of speed, cost, and regulatory compliance, which Bitcoin, being anonymous and not regulated, simply can't provide. So how that works for you, XRP holder? Well, you lock your XRP into liquidity pools or institutional grade lending platforms. These platforms will lend your XRP to banks, payment providers, and even countries for cross-border transactions. So here is what you get in return. You're gonna generate yield on your XRP. You don't need to sell your XRP. You retain exposure to the asset's potential growth and price appreciation. You get paid for becoming a liquidity provider, potentially in XRP, stablecoins or fiat currencies. I do think real stablecoin is gonna be a choice. It's like owning digital oil fields in a world that runs on top of the XRP ledger. You are providing liquidity and earning income for doing so. Imagine a world where XRP is part of the IMF's special drawing rights, the SDR basket, the basket of currencies used to settle international transactions. In this world, XRP would settle trillions of dollars in tokenized assets, and you, as one of the early holders, become a decentralized source of global liquidity. This isn't just speculation anymore. The infrastructure is being laid right now in front of our faces, and Ripple is positioning XRP to be at the center of global financial transactions. You are not just holding a traditional asset anymore, you are holding the future of financial infrastructure. And soon, you won't be required to sell anymore. Big banks will come asking you to borrow it. On the bridge, rent the rails and let the world pay you to keep it flowing. Don't.